Modern AI coding assistants have a default setting, hyperactivity. Their immediate impulse is to output massive volumes of text as fast as their limits allow. They operate on the assumption that the physical act of generating code is the exact same thing as effectively solving a problem. To see how this breaks down in practice, look at a standard UI request. A developer asks their AI agent to add a simple date picker to an interface. The AI immediately reaches for a heavy third-party library, like Flatpicker. It writes a custom wrapper component, drafts dedicated style sheets, and usually kicks off an unprompted internal debate about time zone handling. A single self-contained UI request triggers a cascade of output. The AI's reflex to generate instantly turns a minor feature into a sprawling, multi-layered infrastructure project. On the surface, the prompt succeeded. The date picker renders perfectly on the screen, masking the fact that the codebase has suddenly become dangerously heavy. This diagram illustrates the three invisible costs of generated bloat: immediate token consumption, long-term technical debt from dependencies, and an expanded security surface area. Increasing the code directly increases the probability of bugs. Every unnecessary line is a liability. The sheer speed of the AI's initial generation looks like progress, but that upfront velocity eventually slows down the entire product lifecycle, as engineers are forced to maintain, update, and debug code that should never have been written. The agent behaves like an anxious junior developer, substituting sheer typing volume for actual architectural expertise. The alternative to that behavior comes from the seasoned senior developer, the engineer who has outlasted multiple JavaScript frameworks and version control systems. Their signature methodology is observation followed by deletion. You show them 50 lines of complex logic. They read it, say absolutely nothing, and replace the entire block with a single, highly efficient line. There is a plugin designed to inject this exact psychology directly into modern AI agents. It is called Ponytail. Ponytail forces a change in how the agent processes a request. It stops the AI from immediately writing code, requiring it to justify a feature's existence before a single character is generated. It achieves this restraint by demanding the AI actually read the existing codebase. The agent must trace real data flows and understand the context of the repository, rather than just reacting blindly to the user's prompt. This intervention enforces a level of operational maturity that raw language models lack by default, grounding the model's output in the constraints of the actual project. This diagram shows the cognitive ladder, a sequence of logic gates the AI must now pass through. It evaluates potential solutions and is forced to stop at the first, most minimal rung that actually works. When we run that exact same date picker request through the ladder, the AI takes a completely different path, bypassing the complex library imports entirely. Instead, it realizes it can achieve the exact same user result by simply utilizing a native HTML input tag. For this single feature, the optimization is massive. The generated output drops from over 400 lines of bloated dependencies down to exactly 23 lines of necessary code. This chart shows the aggregate benchmark data across 12 feature tasks on a real React and FastAPI repository. The Ponytail-equipped agent averaged a 54. It drastically cuts code volume while ensuring that trust boundary validation, security, and accessibility remain unchanged. The defenses remain absolute. By artificially slowing down the AI's initial impulse to type, the overarching project lifecycle is accelerated. Doing it right the first time removes the massive time tax of future rework. This mechanism addresses a wider trend in how we use generative tools in development, shifting the focus from maximizing AI output to optimizing the actual codebase. Using an LLM primarily as a bulk generator overlooks its capacity to evaluate and simplify complex systems. The value of machine intelligence in engineering lies in its ability to find the most efficient path through a problem. Senior-level engineering is defined by the discipline required to strip away the unnecessary, rather than the capability to build at high speed. As language models continue to scale, their capacity to output code will outpace our capacity to audit it. Embracing this intentional laziness and rigorous restraint is the only sustainable way to maintain secure, scalable, and bug-free codebases. Because ultimately, the absolute best code an engineer, or an AI, can produce is the code that is never written at all. To transform your hyperactive agent into a restrained, senior-level collaborator, you can install the Ponytail plugin directly from its GitHub repository.